Teamsters, welcome. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, bringing you my daily diary segment. Today I want to tell you what I did from Thursday, December 19th through Sunday, December 22nd of 2024. These were glorious days. Preparing, obviously, for Christmas. But what I did on the morning of Thursday the 19th was, with the help of one of my staff members who drove me, I went to the airport of Orlando and got on a plane going to Phoenix, Arizona. So obviously several hours of flying. What I do in the car on the way to the airport, what I do in the terminal while waiting to board, and what I do on the flight is have my laptop open and I'm doing work, interacting with whoever I need to respond to via email or reach out to for planning. And some of the topics, as I did that for those several hours, had to do with information on abortion funding, legal initiatives for the unborn, work on our opinion pieces, work on the upcoming inauguration and our involvement in it, the broadcast procedures for our studio, some ideas that pro-life activists were sending me to evaluate, visit of some pro-life leaders that we're preparing for, the special elections that are coming up. These are to replace representatives in the U.S. House that had to leave their positions because President Trump brought them into his administration. Upcoming trip to Wichita, doing some planning on that. People who want positions in the presidential administration asking me to write recommendations for them. And a joint article with Alveda King, a foreword to a book, Deacons for Life promotion, Catholic Leadership Conference coming up, and Pro-Life Caucus of the United States House of Representatives, some work on all of those things. I got to Phoenix and went to a hotel, checked in, and it was the convention center then that I headed for because Turning Point USA was there. Now this is their annual America Fest. What a massive conference. It has all the political who's who of America, including President Trump, whom you'll see we got together with him for his rally speech. But I got there, hit the ground running, interacting with everybody, meeting the leaders, speakers, people I know, going into the VIP lounge, going around the conference area, going around the exhibit area, going around the media row, and I did that all afternoon. At 5 o'clock I had a media interview there, and I did some others as well, prepared for some others. Just meeting everybody. It's one of those days where I've talked to you about this before at some of these other conferences. You're just a whole day on your feet, just surrounded by crowds and interacting with people, lots of interesting side meetings with leaders that we collaborate with during the year, planning things, and just all of us, of course, celebrating the great election victory that we have had. A fantastic, fantastic spirit. When I ran into Scott Presler among this networking, he said the same thing to me that Charlie Kirk had said a couple of weeks earlier when I saw him. We did it. That was the initial response of both of us. We did it. We did it. And we, including you, all of us together. Marvelous, marvelous celebration. So, networking all into the evening. That was Thursday, December 19th. Friday, December 20th, started out there in Phoenix with opening up my computer. A couple of things I had to deal with before doing all this networking all day and all night. The presidential transition and doing the prayer guide that many of you have subscribed to. Titusville Chamber of Commerce, we send a monthly message to them. Late-term abortion, educational material we're putting together for people on that. Communication with the pro-life attorneys. Open letter to Nancy Pelosi. The action alerts that we send out to our people. Email approvals and approval of appeals, leaderships, a visit, pro-life leaders coming up, and approvals of various opinion pieces that the Priests for Life team is sending out. At 8:30 that morning, Friday the 20th, had a interview on Real America's Voice with Bishop Aubrey Shines, and together with another guest who's a friend, Bill Federer. He was actually with me at the same conference in Phoenix. We were both calling in remotely to this show. We did that interview, Then I got down to the networking floor. Again, VIP lounge, exhibit area, and media row, where you have all these down a big hallway, all these media outlets set up, all of them broadcasting, podcasting, television outlets. So all day was spent just moving around those three different areas and talking with everybody. It was very, very full. Also listening to some of the talks as well, because in the midst of all this activity, different presenters are presenting. And so in between talking with people and doing media interviews, I would listen to some of these talks that were being presented. So that was Friday the 21st. Then Saturday the 20th, I should say. Saturday the 21st, the conference continued. All that networking continued. But we actually began with a breakfast at the neighboring hotel, and our friend Bill Federer, whom I mentioned already, was the main speaker. And this was for Patriot Academy. This is for the, rather I should say, the Turning Point Academy. Patriot Academy is something else, David Barton's group. But the Turning Point Academy, they had a special breakfast. So I went to that breakfast and, again, networked with a lot of great people there, connected with them, listened to Bill. And then we went over to the main convention center for the day's activities of America Fest. Did a number of interviews, going around on the exhibit floor, going around in the media row, just meeting with people, listening to the talks, going in a VIP lounge. When I was back at the hotel, I had to deal with a few issues on my computer, communication with some state leaders. One of the pro-life leaders that wants to set up an appointment with me, defunding Planned Parenthood, some letters and initiatives about that, approval of another opinion piece, and composing more of the transition prayer guide during these very important weeks of government transition. And then, that was the conclusion of that day. And then Sunday the 22nd, busy day of networking as well. Started out with a 6 a.m. interview, actually, on Newsmax, and did that. I was on, of course, Mountain Time, so it was 8 a.m. Eastern. But I did that interview live in the morning on Sunday, and then went right back over to the convention area, and things were quite busy, meeting a whole lot of people, spending some time talking with the folks over at Epoch Times and various other places. And then what we had to do was get ready for President Trump's arrival. So, of course, security was higher than usual. We all had to get into the right room there. And we got in, sat down, and boy, did we have an inspiring talk from President Trump, and the joy of him being there and his vision for America now that can be implemented, and mingling that election victory joy with the joy of the imminent Christmas celebration was really, really great. Once that finished, it was time to go back to the airport, which I did. And at the airport, I actually wrote an article for lifenews.com and sent it over, and they published it about the Turning Point convention that had just concluded. Then I had the return flight home, did some work on the plane, and also rested a little bit because the flight landed, by the time it landed, was about 10:30 at night, and then I took an Uber back from the airport. So full day, many, many great contacts, really full week. That's what I did from December 19th to 22nd of 2024. Hope your days are blessed. Let's pray for each other, that God will continue to give us the grace to do this work for Him and for His unborn children. God bless.